Hey everybody, and welcome to the OP Don't Starve tier list guide. Wait, no, I didn't say that right. And welcome to the Don't Starve OP tier list. You've seen me play as every single one of these slurpy sacks of semen, and now you get to see what I actually think of them. A quick disclaimer before we begin though, this is my opinion on the characters. I mean, I'm sure we can all agree that certain characters belong on certain spots on this tier list, but for the record, we all have different play styles somewhat, and your tier list may differ slightly or a lot from mine. First character, Woody, after his recent rework. B tier. Now, back in the day, Woody used to be A tier. Well, like, way back in the day, in like the opening days of Don't Starve. But then his rework that required him to eat wood, it put him all the way down into F tier, and it still exists in the single-player counterpart of Woody. Which kind of brings him down from A tier, but his recent rework is, well, basically, well...
Would you like to taste my smoked meat log?
Wilson. He grows a beard and he has no downsides. C tier. Wilson is pretty much the control group of every Don't Starve character spectrum. You can't really go wrong with Wilson, but there's a lot of characters that can do anything he can do better, but they have their own cons to them. Now, next up we have Wormwood! Now, Wormwood actually works really well with other characters, and if we were only accounting for his ability to work with other characters, he would probably be in B or even A tier. But the problem is, he only works well with other characters. He cannot heal himself from any type of food, besides jelly beans. And all of his other healing abilities and healing items, they're far too slow and far too far between. So it's next to impossible to fight any higher up bosses as Wormwood, unless you're a fucking Maxwell main who never gets hit at all! Next up we have fucking Thanos Chowder, who is easily an A tier. Basically, eat a shitload of food and you will do the highest damage per second with just flat out attacks in the game. There's no need to explain why Thanos Chowder is not in fucking A tier.
Small on size, but big on taste!
Next up, a single player only character, Swagstaff. His eyes are fucked up because he got distracted by the booty a really long time ago, but he makes up for it by having goggles and a bunch of other random weird wacky gadgets that help him. And for single player worlds only, Hamlet is the best world that he can be in because he has more gadgets in that world and it kind of just helps him out. He belongs firmly in C tier though, because of both his nearsightedness and if he eats any type of raw food, he basically commits Spider-Man's mom.
You're gonna be okay, ma'am. I've got the cure right here.
Take off your mask. I want to see my nephew.
Wigfrid. B tier. She has a pretty decent damage reduction, along with an attack boost, default. Also, she can make spears and helmets, which are great for boss rushing and pretty much tanking. Because she also has a lifesteal ability, which pretty much gives her health and sanity every time she hits something. Another single player character, Wheeler, belongs firmly in the B tier. Because even though her base stats are low, and even though she has 2 less inventory spots, and even though one of her items is completely useless on 2 of the 3 worlds, her pros highly outweigh the cons, as she has a dash ability with only a 2-second cooldown that can completely negate any and all kinds of damage, and one of her weapons allows her to fire any item in the game as a projectile weapon.
Well, how do you like these apples? What apples? My gun!
Another single player character, Warbucks. Warbucks is easily an A tier character, seeing as to how he has the highest sanity gain out of every single character in the game, given you sacrifice at least 1 inventory slot to hold $100 in it. This trumps even that of Maxwell, and he doesn't even have to worry about having low maximum health. His downside is that he can only eat crockpot recipes or else he'll lose sanity for it, but this is completely negated when you gain 30 sanity a minute. But unfortunately, since Don't Starve actually decided to Thanos snap the character Warbucks from existence, this automatically demotes him all the way down to F tier. Next up, we have another single-player character, Willow, who belongs in the F tier. Willow only does her best in Shipwrecked, and even then, there are better Shipwrecked-only characters you can play as. Her only redeeming attributes are that she's dummy thick and that she's dry. Now tell me, would you put this fucking filth inside your body? Next up, we have Warley. Warley is kind of in the same boat as Wormwood, as in he only works well with other people.
Dogs from a dog! I got him! I got him! Ooh, damn!
But at the same time, Warley can do a little better of a job defending himself in boss fights, and also the buffs that he gives his team with his food, allowing damage and health buffs, they kind of stretch to both himself too, so he belongs in the C tier. We'll do Willow and Wendy next because they're both pretty much the same little girl that has some randomly retardedly not that powerful mech with them. Willow still does a little worse at surviving in winter, prompting me to put her in D tier, while Wendy is better at crowd controlling creatures, which is better for most fights. Maybe not better for boss fights, but it's better overall, prompting me to put her in C tier. Next up, we have Thickerbottom. She can build shitty pan flutes and grow hentai tentacles. B tier. You can do a lot of shit with hentai with her around. Next up, we have Mr. I don't ever get fucking hit because I think I'm fucking cool. Now, we would put him in A tier if I was one of the people that are so superior that we never get hit at all whenever we play Don't Starve, but as if you've watched a single one of my OP guides, I am not one of those fucking people. Alright, who the fuck is next? I'm gonna clap that Bayonetta bird's cheek so... Maxwell, B tier. Next up, multiplayer only character, Wartox, who belongs in A tier. Wartox can teleport around, Wartox can heal himself super quickly along with other people as well. He can negate damage much like how Wheeler can negate damage, and on top of all of that, his base stats are high. His only real main downside is that he gets hungry a little bit faster, and that normal people hate him. Which next up we have Weber, who, like Wartox, regular folks hate him. But unlike Wartox, Weber doesn't have an effective way of healing himself, but Weber does have the use of spiders on his side, who are all his fucking friends who want to do weird butt spider things with him. Woodlegs, D tier. Good for Shipwrecked, bad for everything else. Next character, oh god. Wilbur, a single player only character. Now, this might actually surprise quite a few of you, but Wilbur is among the best single player characters in the game for two reasons. First reason, he's the fastest of any character, being tied by only that of Wolfgang in WX78. Second reason, he has the best and most cost-efficient minions in the game. 4 primates for a single hut that can be made very easily and reproduced by using primates themselves. They can harvest resources, they can fight almost any mob, including bosses, and they're overall just the best minion in the game to have.
Die! Endbringer? Wait!
Next up, Wilbur. I don't fucking know. I don't have an opinion on Wilbur. I guess C tier. I don't have all the answers.
You ain't got the answers, man! You ain't got the answers!
Next up, we have Winona, the other multiplayer-only exclusive character. Crafting things faster is not good if it requires more food, and you're the only character that can kill Toadstool in a reasonable amount of time. B tier. Second to last, we have the android sent by Cyberlife, and he belongs all the way on the top of A tier, because simply put it, WX78 can do anything and everything. Anything you can do, this fucking android can do better than you.
I'm faster than you, and I don't feel pain. You don't stand a chance against me.
And lastly, we have Wes. And we all already know all about Wes. He's weak, he's frail, he's hungry all the time. He's without a doubt one of the hardest characters to play in the game. It's obvious which spot he goes into. And it's S tier. You see, Wes isn't just a character. He isn't just a voluptuous, sexually ambiguous mime carrying around a pile of balloons. He's not just a challenged character, he is the challenge. Wes does the one thing that no other character can do. He challenges you to get better at the game. He is hard because he's supposed to be hard. He only shows his true power if you're strong enough to control him. That kind of power is easily worth S tier in my book. I mean, I guess I have heard other stories about Wes. Wait, hang on, what? Wait, what the fuck is this blasphemy?
Oh, they have to die then.
Everything on this tier list is exactly where it should be. And if you disagree, well, fuck, show me your tier list then and see how ours rank up. Anyways, thanks for watching. Sorry if this video was a little awkward. It's been a good 20 plus videos since I've even used my voice, so I hope it wasn't too bad. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace, peace.